Hey, this is Nat and Vince from Under the Jungle.
And we just got back from a big exploration project, so it's amateur documentary time. So we're sitting here on the side of the highway and we are about to go on a big sinkhole adventure. We have trimix, we have rope work, and we're off with 2 trucks full of stuff and a car.
Some locals told us these sinkholes have no bottom, so we want to see if there's a bottom.
I would really like to not die on a rope and to overcome my fear of hanging in a void.
Last time Rory and I went here, I dropped my fin into the bottom of Demichelis, so I'd like to find my fin.
I'm working on sketching the sinkholes.
Are we ready? Let's go.
So we arrived in Neshkail, we put our boots, our poo boots on, just to walk in cow poo.
It's really disgusting.
And Luca was setting ropes for us, because we don't really know how to do that.
So while we were out adventuring, what was Marcelin doing?
He was watching the shop.
By the time we got in the water, it was about 5 p.m. and it was already getting dark, so the water was pitch black. Luca and I ran our line around the edges of the sinkhole so that we could get an idea of the dimensions of the place. And we ended at 45 meters, right above a hydrogen sulfide cloud that we couldn't go through. Then we surveyed back up the line we just placed with our MNEMO survey device. So by the time I got to the surface, it was already nighttime and it had started to rain. It was the middle of a thunder and lightning storm. And because I'm new at rope work, I actually couldn't get up out of the water in the rain. So I ended up dangling there in the dark about 20 feet up the rope, stuck.
And we had to pull you up.
You had to pull me out. It wasn't my best moment.
That wasn't our best moment neither.
No.
So on the second day, Nat and myself went to check another sinkhole, beautiful place with crystal clear, super blue water, incredible beams, and we had no way to go down and to dive it, so we just tossed a weight tied onto our exploration reel. It found a bottom at about 60 meters of depth. When we pulled it up, it was stinking like rotten egg pretty bad. So there was no doubt as well, like, again, some hydrogen sulfide there.
So we knew we had to go back later in the trip.
Yeah, we had to go back because it's like really exciting to have hydrogen sulfide. So when we were diving there, what do you think Marcelin was doing?
I think he might have been watching the shop.
Do you?
Yeah. It was probably pretty boring. On day 3, Rory and I went to go check another new sinkhole. We had to recut an old road, basically using a combination of machetes and my truck. When we got to the cenote, it looked really promising, so we took our tanks down to the water. Rory had accumulated a lot of sweat in his boots while he was cutting the road, so we had to empty those out. I named an arrow after the boots wet. Then I put some line on my reel and we started the dive. The visibility on the cenote was not very good, but it cleared up once we got a little bit deeper. The cenote was only about 30 meters deep, and it was filled with hydrogen sulfide and dead trees. So we really don't need to go back there.
So meanwhile, with Luca, we went back to Escail on a mission. The original plan was to mainly look for equipment on the bottom of the cenote, so the lost bag and the lost fin. So we just dropped a weight with the reel to have a rough idea of where to look for. The weight fell right onto the bag and right next to the fin. So from there we still had plenty of trimix and time, and we started to lay line in some of the most disgusting hydrogen sulfide ever.
So while we were out on the greatest adventure ever, where was Marcelin?
Somewhere around the shop. So the fourth day, we went back to Cenote Ain, Luca, Nat, and myself. Took us like 3 hours to lower all the tanks to the water and to walk in cow poop again. But at the end, we ended up diving.
So we dropped down into this clear black water along these massive walls, and Vince attached the reel to me and Rory's previous line.
And just started to slowly sink down, just to enjoy the fall in this crystal clear water with like black, big opening walls. And we found hydrogen sulfide at 55 meters. I decided to keep going in this yellow-orange thick cloud, and my hands and face started to instantly burn and itch, and that was disgusting.
It was by far the most aggressive hydrogen sulfide I've ever been in. So while Vince and I were floating around in disgusting hydrogen sulfide, Rory had gone back to map a cenote from our last trip, and he found a horizontal cave at 35 meters.
At one point we were lowering tanks on a rope. What do you think Marcelin was doing?
I remember thinking about Marcelin at that point, thinking, he's probably watching the shop. The next day, Luca and I went back to Sac Massa, which is the cenote that Vince and I scouted, because Vince didn't want to go down ropes to the water. And we dropped down into the largest light beam that I have ever seen. Luca started laying the reel. and we found a horizontal cave at about 20 meters.
So the same day, we went with Rory to the place he had found the previous day that has horizontal cave, because I was way more excited by laying line in a horizontal cave than going down a rope. And we forgot the GoPro on land.
So we don't have any videos
We don't
of
have
that.
any video of that. That was cool though.
Where was Marcelin at this time?
Vaping behind the shop.
Probably.
Yeah, that was a good week, but I really need rope practice.
I'm really happy that Vince and Luca got my fin, and it's amazing to know that there's so much more to check there, and I can't wait to go back. I'm actually going back next week. This week, I found my fin.
Yeah, so I was trying to overcome my fear of height. I partially did.
It's amazing.
I wouldn't say that I really mastered it yet, but we have like some leads to things to work on, like to be more efficient in places like that.
I went back to fill in one of the loose ends on the northwest side of the map, and I found cave. What's special about this cave is it's the first horizontal cave we have found in this area.
So we did find the bottom in a few places, which was awesome. And we also found some horizontal cave, different ones. And I emptied my reel for the first time, so it's pretty good.
So we're gonna see.
I think we should get some.